Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session. And in this session, we will see how we can run the example programs. Right? There are example programs that are provided with every installation, and we will see how to execute those programs. And also, there are certain benchmarks we can run. We will also see how we can run those benchmarks. And as you know, what are the benchmarks? Benchmarks are basically, it will see whether whatever the cluster you have created, the HDFS cluster you have created, whether that is up to standards. How there are two benchmarks are there and that are discussed. You can run those benchmarks and you can just validate or compare with the benchmark, how good or how bad is your cluster design. Okay, we'll see that. So in case of running the example programs, we have to locate the example programs, as I told you before. For locating the example programs, there are it depends on the folder. It depends on the version, which version you are working on, and based on that version, the location of the example programs will differ. So according to the textbook, this is as per the Hadoop version 2.6.0. So if you are able to install, if you had already installed 2.6.0, you can follow these instruction. But if you have a newer version, then I will tell you how to figure it out, where the MapReduce examples are there, and how to see all those programs, list of programs that are available. And we'll see one example how to run that particular example program. All Hadoop releases come with a MapReduce example applications. Already Hadoop releases will have example applications. There are about 15 to 20 example applications that will be part of the Hadoop release. Running the existing MapReduce examples is simple process. Once you locate where those particular files are, running those applications is not a big task. As soon as you find where those examples are located, we can easily run those programs. For this Hadoop version 2.6, all the Apache sources under OPT, the examples will be stored in that particular directory, and the directory structure is like this: hyphen OPT hyphen Hadoop dash 2.6.0 forward slash share forward slash Hadoop forward slash MapReduce forward slash. This is the location where we have the example files jar. In other versions, maybe you can look in if the installation has a user folder in the root USR root. If it has a user folder in that lib, in that Hadoop MapReduce would be there. Suppose if you don't have if you don't find that particular location, then what you can do is you can search for that particular file. How to search in the file system? You can search the file using certain keywords using the find command. Okay, so you will use the find command. Basically it will search your file system for particular files, and the syntax for that is, you will say find space forward slash. So this forward slash is it points to the location where you want to run your search. We are giving the location of the search as a root. Root means it is going to search all the folders that are available in your file system. And hyphen name, and inside the double quotes you will provide the name what you want to search for. And fortunately all the examples, even though location is different, they have the very similar kind of a jar file. Okay, it will definitely have all in lowercase Hadoop dash MapReduce dash examples asterisk. So if there is a if they with the version, if they have appended that name would be there. That's why you are providing asterisk here. Means what? You will definitely want to have a file name starting with Hadoop MapReduce examples and followed by anything. If there is a version number or anything else, that is fine, and it should end with a dot jar, and that is what you are searching for in the file system, and then hyphen print. So what this will tell is like show all the results on the console itself. Wherever we are issuing this command, it will display there. So as I told, I have installed the version 3.1. The location is in not what is specified in the book. That location is, I did run the find command on my installation. You will log into SSH. Okay, how to log into SSH we already discussed. Once you log in into SSH, I issued the command find space / name, whatever we discussed, and in my system it is in this particular folder, / user / HTTP, then version, then Hadoop MapReduce. Inside that I have the jar. So one jar is this MapReduce examples.jar, and second one is this. Okay, maybe it is just another copy with the extension with the name, additional information of the version. Okay, and other things you can ignore. Basically you will find this particular location. This is the location that is what we are interested in. Okay, if you see here we have a USR, but it is in a different, even though they have given this version as a lib, it is not in the lib. USR, then HDP. So in your installation it could be in a different location, or if you have installed whatever the latest version in maybe couple of weeks back, then it would be exactly same as my installation, and it would be in this particular location. Okay. Next, how to, once you find the location of the example jar file, then how to run that example. So these are the requirement which is already part of that shell, secured shell SSH. Don't worry about that. Then location of the example, this is what is given in the book. You will set it as a environment variable. You will create one environment variable called Hadoop _ examples. Okay, and how to define it? You will say export space Hadoop _ examples is equal to, you will give the location of the that example file. Okay. So in our case, this is the one what is given in the book. In our example, the you will be setting the Hadoop _ example environment variable like this: export Hadoop _ examples is equal to user / HTTP / version / Hadoop -MapReduce - okay, this is the folder, sorry, Hadoop -MapReduce, which is nothing but the one we found out in the search. So this is what we are going to set it as a Hadoop _ example environment variable. Then what you can do is just do the echo, and if you make a mistake here, say for example, you can use a echo command to display what has been stored in the Hadoop example environmental variable. For that you have to use the $echo Hadoop _ example. So here I have made a mistake, X is missed out, that's why it is not displaying anything. So here I have corrected it, echo space $Hadoop _ examples. It will display what has been we have earlier set. Okay, this is the value that has been set. Running, once you have that, running the MapReduce example, once you define the examples path, okay, you can run the Hadoop example using the command discussed in the following section. So how to run the example, we will see that. Before you want to run any particular application, first you want to see all the available example. So you want to list all the available example. List of the available examples can be found by running the following command. In some cases, the version number may be part of the jar file. Example, in version 2.6 Apache sources, the file named Hadoop -MapReduce - examples - 2.6. o.jar. So depending upon what kind of a version you have, there might be it might be appended with a version, or it will just be having this name, hadoop hyphen mapreduce hyphen examples.jar. So whichever the file is available, you can use that particular file and you can issue the command. So this is the command you are going to issue: yarn space jar space dollar hadoop underscore examples. So this will have the path where this jar file is stored, forward slash hadoop hyphen mapreduce hyphen examples dot jar. Okay, this, when you issue this particular command, it will list out all the valid programs. Okay, so you can see this is what I did in my installation. You can see this: you log in into the SSH using root user, then you issue the command yarn space jar. Here, instead of, in the previous example, you can say dollar hadoop underscore examples forward slash. So this will have a value of the that particular folder, and that will be replaced by this environmental variable forward slash the jar name. Instead of that, you can directly give the absolute path. Okay, the absolute path is whatever, wherever is the location starting from the root. Okay, root user forward slash HTTP and the jar name, and click on enter. Once you click on the enter, there are some warnings in my installation. Maybe that is just a warning, we can just ignore. An example program must be given as a first argument. So it is telling the example program must be given as the first argument. So this particular jar file expects a argument, and that argument should be the example program name that should be given first. That is what it is saying. Just to list all the examples available, we did not give any argument, so that we can see what is the usage. Valid program names are, you can see here, aggregate word count, aggregate word history, BBP. Okay, so aggregate word count and aggregate based map reduce program that counts words in the input file. Suppose what this map reduce program will do, it will count the particular words. You want to count particular words in let us say hundreds of input files, it will do that. Then aggregate word history, hist, an aggregate based map reduce program that computes the histogram of the words in the input file. So it will compute the histogram, then BBP, okay, and so on. And this list I have in a text so that it is more visible. Just I will open that. These are the, so that this is the command that issued on my installation. So this is how it showed me, and this is what given in the book. Okay, these are the valid program names: aggregate word count, okay, aggregate word history, just we saw, BBP, a map reduce program that uses Bailey Borwin Fluffy to compute exact digits of pi. Okay, so it will compute the pi value. Then DB count, an example, the job that count the page view counts from a database. Okay, then dist BBP, a map reduce program, uses BBP hyphen type formula to compute exact bits of pi. Again, another map reduce program to find pi. grep, map reduce program that counts matches of a regex in the input. So grep command, if you are familiar with the Unix, we already have a Unix command called grep. So basically it does the same thing, it will find the matches, okay, in the input. Then join, a job that affects join over sorted equally positioned data sets. Then we have multi-file WC, word count. A job counts words from several files. So we have another file. Then Pentomino, a MapReduce tile laying program to find solution to Pentomino problems. We have a program called Pi. So this is what we are going to see how to execute this particular application. A MapReduce program that estimates pi, that's the pi value. using quasi Monte Carlo method. Then random text writer, MapReduce program that writes 10 GB of random textual data per node. So this kind of a MapReduce program, they will be useful in creating a data. Suppose you, for some reason, your application, you have created an application, MapReduce application, and it needs a let us say random data, textual data. See, this is the program. So it will create some random data, 10 GB textual data in every node. Then random writer, a MapReduce program that writes 10 GB random data per node. So this is one more program is there. Then secondary sort, an example defining secondary sort to reduce. Okay. Okay. Secondary sort is a reduce program. Okay. Example, secondary sort to the reduce. Then sort, a MapReduce program that sorts the data written by the random writer. So it will do the sorting. Sudoku, a Sudoku solver. Then Terragen. Terragen is a benchmark. Okay, this is a benchmark MapReduce program that we can run to benchmark the Hadoop cluster that we have. So that we can run Terragen. It will generate the data for the Terrasort. Then Terrasort, run the Terrasort. It will run the Terrasort on top of the generated data. Then Terra validate, checking the result of a Terrasort. So once you do the Terra validate, you will come to know the results will show the how good is that particular installation or the cluster. Then word count, a MapReduce program that counts the words in the input files. So it will count the word in the input file. Word mean, MapReduce program counts the average length of the words in the input files. Another application. Then word median, similar to mean, it will find the median. Word standard deviation, similar to that, you are finding the standard deviation. So these are the different programs that we have. Running the pi example. Out of that, you looked into the pi examples. The pi example calculates the digits of pi using quasi Monte Carlo method. If you have not added users to HDFS, run this test as user HDFS. So if we have not added a user called HDFS, we can run these programs as a HDFS user. To run the pi example with 16 maps and 10 lakh or 1 million samples per map, enter the following command. So how to run the pi program is yarn, then you will space jar space dollar Hadoop underscore examples. This is the environment variable that I have set, which has the location, okay, where the example jar is available. Then forward slash Hadoop MapReduce examples dot jar space pi. Okay, name of the program space 16. These are the number of mappers, mapper 16, and these are the samples per map 1 million. This is how you will run it. So this is the example how I have run in my environment yarn space jar. Here I have given the complete path. So instead of using Hadoop variable, I have just used the complete path, and this is the complete path along with the jar file name. Then space pi space 16 space 1 million. So the program will start like this. Okay, so that particular flow we can see running the pi example. So once you give the command, so in my installation there are some warnings. Okay, you can see this was a similar warning that we saw earlier. So this is how it will proceed. Number of maps, it will show 16 samples is equal to 1 million. Then wrote input for map. So this is the first mapper. So you can see total we have 16, 0 to 15. So it wrote into that all the map programs, starting the job. Then we have a information about the status map has completed 0%, reduces 0%. Slowly as time passes, execution completes. Map 100%, map 94%, reduce. Once the map is finished, then the reduce will start. Okay, it depends on what is the requirement. Here map 100%, reduce program 100%, both are complete. The job is completed. So here file system counter information is given here. These are the different information. Job counter information is provided. So some stats information is given. Total time spent by all maps in occupied slots in terms of milliseconds. Time spent by all reduces. So these are the different stats that are generated. Then map reduce framework information is there. These are the number of map programs. Map input record 16, output 32. So the map output will be given to the reduce, and map output will form as a input to the reduce programs, and reduce programs will generate the actual output of the particular program. So some metadata information is there, status information is there. At the end, you can see job finished in 23 seconds. Again, this timing depends on what kind of a cluster you have. Then it can vary from system to system based on the RAM and the CPU sizes. Estimated value of the pi, this is the output of the program. So all the reduce will reduce the output to find the pi value, that is 3.1415, whatever the output it will give. So this is how we can run the different kinds of programs. So there are many other programs. This is a one example given to run the pi. Suppose if you want to run any other, let us say word count. So you can run the word count. Just give the jar file name. Okay, jar file name and the word count program. So instead of pi here, I will just show you the. Okay, here when you are running the pi example. Okay, where is the pi example syntax? This is listing. One second. These are the, suppose you want to run word count, that is the name of the program. So here what you can do is you can give the jar file name space word count and you can hit enter. Then it will show you the usage. Means in the usage it will tell what are the different arguments it is expecting. According to that you can give the whatever the information, the input files, location, how it should be given, it will be specified. You can provide the information and you will run the program and you will see the output. Similarly, there are so many other programs are available that can be run in the similar fashion. That is how you run the example programs in your Hadoop cluster. Then using a web GUI to monitor the example. This particular example, what we have seen, the Pi, it may not take too much time to run, but there are certain programs like TerraGen, which generates the data. Those programs will take a lot of time, and you can see them using the in the web GUI. You can monitor those programs. Those programs will be listed in the Yarn. I showed you the Ambari. You can log in into the Ambari using the administrative privileges, admin user ID, and you can go to the Yarn. Whichever job which is running, that will be displayed there, and from there you can monitor the jobs, how the jobs are doing, and also other statistical information will be given there, and you can monitor each of those jobs in the web UI using the Ambari. And how to get into the Ambari? In the book it is given host name colon 8080, in my system with my version, it is in host name colon 8080, not 88. Okay, so in 8080 you will be able to see uh, all the information about your HDFS system, complete Hadoop system. And in there you have on the left hand side you have the link for the yarn. You can click on the yarn, you can view the various jobs that are running and their statuses. Next is running basic Hadoop benchmarks. Suppose if you want to run any kind of a benchmarks, there are many benchmarks are available. In this, they have discussed about the two benchmarks. Many Hadoop benchmarks can provide insight into the cluster performance. Why we are running these benchmarks? To basically get the insight into the how your cluster is performing. So if you want to get that information, you will run these benchmarks so that you will come to know. The best benchmarks are always those that reflect real application performance. So the always the best benchmarks are that will show the real application performance when the applications are running, how it is performing. So that will give a exact information about the performance of the cluster. The two benchmarks discussed in this section are, I told you, one is Terasort and second one is a test DFS IO. Okay, test data distributed file system IO, input output. These two things provide a good sense of how well your Hadoop installation is operating and can be compared with the public data published for the Hadoop system. The results, however, should not be taken as a single indicator for system-wide performance on all applications. So, by running these two, these can be considered if these benchmarks provides a good results on particular installation of the Hadoop, then that can be compared with the industry. Means your cluster is as good as any cluster which is running in production. But however, these results may not be accurate for all the applications, because every application requirements would be different. But as a benchmark, okay, on a overall scale, these are considered as a if these two benchmarks are passed, you can consider your installation is very good. And these benchmarks has to be run on a full Hadoop cluster installation. Okay, the benchmarks has to be, these are designed for the full Hadoop cluster installation. However, in our scenario, what we have done is uh, ours is not a complete Hadoop cluster installation. We just have a name node, a single name node, single data node. Both are installed on the same server. This is not, it is not actual representation of the distributed file system. So our individual systems may not be a good case for running these benchmarks. Okay. This test assume a multi-disk HDFS environment, so we do not have that. Running these benchmarks on Hortonworks Sandbox or in the pseudo distributed single node install is not recommended, because all input outputs are done using a single system disk drive. So this is basically designed for the multi-disk. So running on our Sandbox or a pseudo distributed single node installation is not a good idea. So it will not get a real insights. So we will see how to run the first benchmark, that is Terasort test. So the Terasort benchmark sorts specified amount of randomly generated data. This benchmarks provides combined testing of HDFS and MapReduce layers of a Hadoop cluster. A full Terasort benchmark run consists of the following three steps. So what this benchmark will provide, it is a combined testing of a HDFS as well as a MapReduce layer. So it will give combined testing of both. And how to run this test, these are the steps. First one is generating the input data. How to generate the input data? We have a in the example programs, we have already seen the Terragen. We can run the Terragen program and it will generate the required data for running this particular benchmark. Once the Terragen program is complete, it generates all the required input data. Then we will run the actual TerraSort, okay, TerraSort benchmark on the input data. So on this particular input data, we run the TerraSort program, and then once this is complete, we will do the validate the sorted output data using the Terra validate program. So this is one of the program that was listed part of the example program. So we will run that. Then it will do the actual validation on how the TerraSort ran, and it will test the complete HDFS as well, the how the map reduce both the layers, how they work. In general, each row 100 bytes long, thus the total amount of the data return is 100 times the number of rows specified as part of the benchmark. So that is, it will write about 100 GB of the data, or it is 1 billion rows. That is what happens when you run the Terragen. The input and output directories need to be specified in the HDFS. The following sequence of command will run the benchmark for 50 GB of the data as a user HDFS. Make sure the user slash HDFS directory exists in HDFS before running the benchmark. Okay, so we have to make sure these particular folders are present. We have to use the user as HDFS, okay, and this particular folder is present. Then we can run using this following commands. Run Terragen to generate the random data. How to run the Terragen? Yarn space jar, similar to Pi example. Everything else is same. Instead of Pi, we have a Terragen. Okay, so yarn space jar, then jar location, this environment variable / jar file name space Terragen space, you are giving these parameters. So this is for the 50 GB. You specified the folder. Make sure these folders exist: / user / HDFS and Terragen -50 GB. So this will generate the data. How to run the TerraSort? Once you have this, then to sort the database, you will run TerraSort. Same thing. Instead of Terragen, you will have TerraSort. You specified the input file location. This is the input file location, Terragen 50 GB, and we are storing TerraSort 50 GB in the same folder. Okay. Then run the Terra validate the sort. How to run that? Everything is same except you will replace the program name here, Terra validate. Then you will give the folder, folder and the Terra sort data. Okay, and it will create the Terra valid 15 GB data. So it will generate that data. To report results, the time for actual sort is measured, and the benchmark rate and the megabytes per second is calculated for the best performance. The actual TerraSort benchmark should be run with a replication factor of 1. In addition, the default number of TerraSort reducer task is set to 1. Increasing the number of reducers often helps with the benchmark performance. For example, the following command will instruct TerraSort to use 4 reducer tasks. So here, if you want to specify number of reducer programs, okay, you can specify that. You can see here examples.jar TerraSort, and you are specifying number of reducer programs. That is done using hyphen capital D mapred dot reduce dot task is equal to 4. So it will have a reducer programs limited to 4. Okay, once you are done with running the performance, this thing, validations, you have to clean up because it will generate a lot of data. You want to do the cleanup. How to do the cleanup? Already you understood how to remove the data in HDFS commands. We can use HDFS dash DFS space hyphen RM space hyphen R space hyphen skip trash. So skip trash means this will not be, whatever the deleted data will not be moved to the trash location. It will be totally removed from the disk. Then you can say Terra asterisk. So whatever starts with the Terra, everything will be removed. The next benchmark is running the test DFS IO. So Hadoop also includes HDFS benchmark application called test DFS IO benchmark. Benchmark is a read and write test for the HDFS. So what this test will do is a reading and writing into the HDFS. Okay, basically input output IO, distributed file system input output. That test it will do. That is, it will write or read number of files to and from HDFS, and is designed in such a way that it will use one map task per file. So it will use one map program per one file. Okay, and the file size, number of files are specified as a command line argument. And similar to the Terrasort benchmark, you should run this test as a user HDFS. We have to run this test as a user. And similar to Terrasort, test DFS IO has several steps, and the following example, 16 files of size 1 GB are specified. We have total number of 16 files, each is 1 GB. Note that test DFS IO benchmark is part of a Hadoop MapReduce client job client.jar. So this particular benchmark is part of this jar. So if you are not able to find this, you have to use the search find, okay, to locate this particular jar. Other benchmarks are also available as part of the jar file. Running it with no argument will yield a list. In addition to test DFS IO, then we have comma nn bench, that is name node, load testing the name node. Then mr bench, that is MapReduce bench, load testing of MapReduce framework. Okay, these are the commonly used benchmarks. We'll see the steps for the test DFS IO. To run the test DFS IO, same command, you will give the name of the program as test DFS IO, then space dash write space dash nr files. So you are specifying it as a 16 files, and the file size. File size is 1 GB, hyphen file size is 1000, that's 1 GB. This is the result of the example. Fs dot, once this particular program completes, this is the information, this is the write operation, this is the date and time when it is done, number of files, total m bytes. Okay, so processed, total MB processed. So this is the 16,000 MB that is processed, or the 16 GB. Throughput, you can see the throughput here. This is MB per second. Okay, and average input IO rate, input output rate, this is MB per second. It is taking about 14 MB per second. This is average IO rate is 15 MB per second. IO rate, standard deviation, then test exact time in seconds. Similarly, this is for the write operation. This is for the write operation. You can run the benchmark for the read operation. This is command is, everything is same. You will specify the name of the program as test DFS IO. Now hyphen read. You are here, you did the write operation. Here you are going to read operation on the HDFS. Same 16 files and 1 GB each. And results for that you can see. Rest of the information is here. This is same throughput. You can see here 32 MB per second. Obviously the read would be much more faster than the write. So you can see that 32, and average IO rate is 58 MB per second. This is the IO rate standard deviation, and test execution time in seconds, that is 62. So earlier it took how much? The write execution time is more, 105 seconds, and read operation is faster. And once you have all this steps done, then you can you can compare with the standard. Okay, whatever the timings you get it for your cluster installation, you can just benchmark with the industry standards. And once you perform both the write and the read test, DFS IO test, benchmark test, then you have to do the cleanup. How to do the cleanup? You can run the test DFS IO again with hyphen clean. So it will automatically remove whatever the data it has created, and it will clean up all the data. So those are the how we can run the benchmark programs. Then managing Hadoop programs. How we can manage the Hadoop programs is MapReduce jobs is we can use the command MapRed space job. Okay, and what are the different operations we require for monitoring the jobs? We want to list all the jobs. Suppose certain job is you feel it is running for a long time, you want to kill it, then you have an option to kill it. And you want to check the status, that is the hyphen status. This will give the status of the particular job. So suppose if you want to kill any particular job, this is the command you will use: MapRed space job space dash kill, hyphen kill space job ID. How you will find the job ID? You will just first you will say job dash list. Okay, once you do the job list, it is similar to the Unix, where every process has a ID, process ID, PID. Similarly, here we will have the job ID, and in Unix we have the kill command, kill, and then you will give the particular job ID. Here, if you want to kill any job, first you will list them. When you do the MapRed space job space dash list, it will list all the running jobs. Okay, and from there you can find what is the job ID. And if you want to kill certain job ID, or you want to see the status, you will say MapRed job hyphen kill, and you will provide that job ID. So what are the other possible operations for the MapRed space job command that is listed here? Okay, you can on the SSH session, you can say MapRed space job, then it will give you the usage, how it should be used. So either we can have dash submit and job file dash status job ID, means you want to check the status. So this is for checking the counter. Then kill, if you want to kill the particular job, you will specify hyphen kill, and you will specify the job ID, and it will kill the particular job. So these are the other options available. Set priority. Suppose if you want to prioritize certain jobs, whenever jobs are running, they will run with a default priority, means which default priority whatever is decided by the HDFS. Suppose you want to set a certain job as a high priority, means you want the HDFS to finish it early, then you can specify the priority as a higher. So you can see different priorities are that are, these are the valid priorities: very underscore high, high, normal, low, very underscore low. So whichever jobs are not important, you don't care when they finish, you want them to finish, you don't care when they finish, you set the priority as very low. And whichever jobs are very very important, time critical, you set them as very underscore high. Set priority, then set the value very underscore high. So that is how you can use different things: events, history, how the job history is. Then list will list all the jobs. This list active trackers, then list blacklisted trackers, list attempt IDs. So many options are there. Kill task is there, fail task, and if you want to check the logs. So any particular job is running and you want to check what is how much is complete, then you can use -logs, then you provide the job ID. So these are the optional information. So that is how you can monitor the jobs.